Morant with a running start. Elevates. Oh, it dunks. Oh, my goodness.
Tie game in overtime. Gasol will turn his heat. It's gone. Memphis on top. 7-10 remaining. Conley now a three. Count it. A 15-point lead for Memphis. And Blake Griffin gets into it on the floor with Randolph. Hard to tell if there are any punches being thrown under there, but Griffin took acceptance.
Adams going long. Morant. Oh, he hit it. John Morant, insanity.
You gotta be kidding me.
Welcome to Grits and Grinds, a Memphis Grizzlies podcast. My name is Keith Parrish. The Grizzlies have signed Derrick Rose to a 2-year guaranteed deal at the veterans minimum. The Grizzlies use their open roster spot and get an emergency backup point guard, a thing I thought they needed. And, of course, for Memphis college basketball fans, of which there are many that overlap with Grizzlies fans, this is a big deal. It's a exciting signing. There's a fun nostalgia element, a full circle moment of a Memphis Tigers legend coming back and finishing his basketball career with the Grizzlies. Now, for people who have no Memphis Tigers or Derrick Rose nostalgia or sentimental feelings like me, it's more of a quizzical and confusing move. I do think they needed a guard. When I broke down the Grizzlies roster on previous episodes, I strongly supported bringing in a ball handler. I thought it was a definite need. When I asked people on Twitter, what position player do the Grizzlies need? The large majority said we need a wing, but I actually disagreed. There were wings I wanted in free agency. I am currently jealous that the Lakers got Taurean Prince for very little money. But when I looked at the Grizzlies roster and I started breaking down what the playing time might actually be, I figured when this team is totally healthy, they're going to play a lot of three-guard lineups. Most of their best players are guards. Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard. Those are 4 of your probably 7 best players. So you're going to play a lot of three-guard lineups. And I figured when healthy, conservatively, we say in a game, Ja's going to play 34 minutes. Bane's going to play 34 minutes. Marcus Smart might play 30. Luke plays about 24. If they play those minutes, that only leaves 22 minutes you need filled with small forwards. So, because of the way the Grizzlies roster is, even though you don't have a clear-cut starter at small forward, I figured between LaRavia and Roddy and Zaire and whoever else, they could handle it. And so a more pressing need was going to be, you probably got to get another guard. Because in the 25 games Ja's out, you have 96 minutes you need to fill between point guard and shooting guard every single game. And just having Desmond and Marcus and Luke do that, or maybe Conchar every now and then, it's going to be a lot of heavy minutes for those guys. And if anyone misses any amount of time, you're going to need a point guard, or you're going to need at least a combo guard. I highlighted the ones I wanted. Derrick Rose was not on my short list or my long list. Derrick Rose, I wasn't sure was going to still be in the NBA. Derrick Rose is 34 years old. He's played in 53 games the last 2 seasons. And someone asked me, is it because he was hurt or because he just wasn't getting in the game? And I was thinking, what's better? Is it better that he only played 53 games because he was hurt? Or was it better that he only played 53 games the last 2 years because he wasn't good enough to get into the game? Generally, he wasn't hurt the last 2 years. He was just getting DNPs. When you go back to the 2020-2021 season, he was pretty good, I think. I think you're hoping if this move is about a basketball fit, you're getting that Derrick Rose. He was an efficient scorer. He might give you some offensive boost off the bench there. But that's 3 seasons ago. The guy's going to turn 35 before the season begins. It is a quizzical signing for basketball reasons. Also, the 2 guaranteed years, that's a little odd. Now, it is for the veterans minimum, and you can say, well, that's not going to hurt you. Yeah, it's not going to hurt you, but guess what? It doesn't help you. As I've been spelling out, I wanted matching salary. I wanted whoever we got this year to be matching salary. I truly don't understand why you would sign Derrick Rose to a 2-year deal for $6.5 million. Like, that's the veterans minimum, so that's why they signed him to that. Also, by the way, the league kicks in a lot of that money. The league makes up the difference between what a 10-year or a guy with 10 years plus experience gets compared to what a player with 2 years of experience gets. So the league is going to pick up and pay a lot of Derrick Rose's salary. Because of that, I cynically feel like when I ask the question, why didn't they give him a 1-year, $6.5 million deal? That way there's no money on the books for the 2024-2025 season. Cynically, my thought is, well, if the Grizzlies did that, they actually had to pay him all the money. They would be on the hook for the full $6.5 million. This way, the league pays basically half of it. I mean, maybe that's not the reason. Maybe there's something else cooking. Maybe they wanted to keep more salary cap space away from the luxury tax line because they're going to make a big move this offseason. I mean, I don't really believe that's going to happen, but perhaps there are other reasons that I don't comprehend right now. And also, I'm responding to this signing just in the hours after it occurred. And it's hard always to judge roster moves without knowing the full picture of what might be going on in the future or what things they might be planning. On the surface, though, having guaranteed money added to your books for 2024 or 2025 for a player who I don't think projects to be in your rotation when the team is healthy, who does not project to play for you in the playoffs, adding that guaranteed money for next year, even if it is the minimum, is kind of weird. Now, I understand being super ecstatic if you're a Memphis Tigers fan. Like, if the Grizzlies signed my favorite college basketball player of all time, which I think might be Marquise Daniels, I would be ecstatic. That would be fun. Maybe it's Barry Goheen, old Vanderbilt player. But if you're not a Memphis Tigers fan and you don't have the nostalgia kick for Derrick Rose, the basketball terms, it's highly questionable. Now, I think a lot of people have suggested, and there's probably something to this, that Derrick Rose is a veteran that's coming in to help the locker room and specifically to be a role model for Ja Morant, to build a relationship, to foster a relationship, help keep Ja Morant out of trouble. I don't have any information that says that's what they're doing. I feel like everyone that's saying this, we're inferring that. We're trying to make sense of a signing that looks a little weird, where we're thinking, why did anyone want a 35-year-old Derrick Rose? I'm not sure he can still play. The Knicks decided last year, we don't need him to play. We have better players. He's going to get DMPs. So I think we're wondering maybe this is a relationship thing. And it's hard for us outside podcasters to judge or assess transactions that were done for relationship purposes. The most important player on the Grizzlies is Ja Morant. And the Grizzlies, if they're going to win a title, are going to need Ja Morant to lead the way. They're going to need him to be in a good headspace and to stay out of off-the-court trouble. Maybe Derrick Rose will help with that. Maybe the combination of a Derrick Rose, Marcus Smart, veteran backcourt leaders, maybe that helps your locker room. The Grizzlies will have a much better idea of that than I will have or anybody else on Twitter will have. Now, another element to this, which I wish I could ignore, but I can't ignore, is Derrick Rose has his own off-the-court issues. He had a very disturbing civil case brought against him for gang rape, and a jury did not find him liable in the case, but the transcript of the case is very upsetting. And the things Derrick Rose admits to are disturbing. And again, if you're not a Memphis Tigers fan or you're not a Chicago Bulls fan who cheered for Derrick Rose when he won his MVP, if you're just a general basketball fan, one of the things you have logged in your head under the Derrick Rose memories is Derrick Rose doesn't know what the word consent means. And so you have that kind of black cloud element of a Derrick Rose signing, and then you have the questionable basketball fit. Yes, we need an emergency point guard, but all the other things we were hoping for with our final roster spot, like will it be a player with upside? No. Will it help your shooting as a team? No, he does not. Will it help your half-court offense? No, probably not. Does it help you in the playoffs? No, it does not. Can it be emergency point guard? Yes, emergency point guard. We got it. We only need him to play 25 games, basically. Does he fit alongside Ja and Desmond? No, he doesn't. Does he have a tradable contract? Yes, sort of. But also, no, it's not that big. It isn't what I wanted as far as like a larger matching salary. So, generally, I'll say the entire move is just kind of interesting and eyebrow raising. I'm not going to tell you not to be ecstatic if you're a Tigers fan. Like, it's your fandom. Do with that what you will. But when you just look at it from like the outsider view of how does this player fit on the basketball court? How does this make your rotation any better? It is more odd. And then when you wonder about the guaranteed money going into next year, like, do they actually think Derrick Rose is going to be playing basketball games both this year and then in his age 36 season in 2024, 2025? I don't know. I mean, Ja Morant tweeted about it, so Ja Morant seems excited. Tweeted some emojis. There was a rose involved. Jaren Jackson Jr. tweeted new energy. So maybe that means he's excited about it. Some fresh blood. A well-known Memphis legend joining the Grizzlies roster. I mean, it's still possible after 25 games, they could still waive him. If they determine, all right, we need a roster spot and he isn't able to provide the on-the-court stuff we need, like they could still waive him and then they just eat the salary that they owe him in the 2024-2025 season. But, I mean, the fact that, again, that it's guaranteed money makes me feel like, all right, that's probably not something they totally want to do. Like now, if you feel like you have to open up a roster spot, the cheapest player to waive, it's Kenneth Lofton Jr., unfortunately. Kenneth Lofton Jr.'s salary is only guaranteed for this year. Like you're not waiving John Conchar. He has $20 million guaranteed owed to him. So that's another reason why the move is a little bit surprising. If this had been a 1-year, $7 million deal or like some of these fake 2-year deals that have been handed out, like the one Joe Ingles got, 2-year, $22 million deal, where the second year's a team option. That's actually what Bruce Brown got. Bruce Brown, who I wanted to sign for the Grizzlies, but I knew it was unlikely. Bruce Brown got 2 years, $45 million from the Pacers. Guess what? The second year, team option. They might decline it. They might just get Bruce Brown for 1 year. So initially, when it was like, oh, it's a 2-year Derrick Rose deal, I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. First year's guaranteed. Second year's not guaranteed. And I kind of hoped it would be a bigger number for this year just for the salary matching purposes. It's not. It's a 2-year minimum. And no matter what, some of that money is going to be on the books for next year. And speaking of on the books for next year, we have breaking news. Desmond Bane and the Memphis Grizzlies have agreed to a full 5-year, $207 million max contract. Pop the champagne bottles. Desmond Bane is signed for the next 6 seasons. He'll play out the final year of his rookie deal and then will get the full 5-year, 25% max contract. So the Grizzlies take care of business, lock up Desmond Bane for as long as they possibly can. I thought maybe they would work out something under the full max to kind of help themselves out, but I guess they just prioritized getting the full 5-year deal. That should be a win for the Grizzlies. Even if Bane maintains his current level, I don't think that contract should hurt you too much with the rising cap that's anticipated a few seasons from now. Now, did they get anything in this contract? I mean, maybe if you want to get real picky about grading transactions, you could say they could have negotiated something less than the max. I mean, I guess having no player options, it seems like, again, it's breaking news. If it is no player options at all and you get the full 5 years, that is kind of a win for the team. Of course, Desmond Bane gets a win because he gets $207 million. So a big night of Grizzlies news and activity this Friday night where free agency begins. Also, news that came out on Friday, the Grizzlies released their Summer League roster. The important names of this one, you have the Grizzlies' main roster players you're anticipating having: David Roddy, Kenneth Lofton Jr., Jake LaRavia, Vince Williams Jr., Gigi Jackson's going to play. This also says that Tariq Baberovich, their second-round pick, might play pending FIBA clearance. Very notably, Zaire Williams is not playing Summer League for the Grizzlies. I believe Chris Harrington was saying that the report is he's got some knee rehab going on, and he's not totally healthy to play. So make of that what you will. Jacob Gilliard, who still is on a two-way spot for the Grizzlies, he will be on the roster. The other guys whose names I know, I'll be honest, not that many. I know Frankie Ferrari, Joel Ayayi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right. I've seen that guy play, and I've seen his name before. And then Tariq Owens has been around a while. And then some of these guys, honestly, Matthew Hurt, I'm aware of this guy, but a lot of them, it's going to be me refreshing myself with guys like, oh yeah, that guy, and or learning totally new players who I've never seen play basketball before. Of course, those games start on Monday night, July 3rd. That's the Utah Summer League. For the games on July 5th and July 6th, I'll be doing a playback over at playback.tv/fastbreakbreakfast if you want to follow along the Grizzlies Summer League games with me. So a lot of stuff on this late Friday night. The Derrick Rose signing again. I'm very surprised by it. Maybe he's going to be the perfect mentor for Ja Morant, keeps Ja Morant out of trouble. Maybe this had more to do with relationships than on the basketball court product. And it's very hard for me to consider, or at least factor what that actually means. The basketball fit, like, does the guy have anything left in the tank to play basketball? Like, this is, again, it's a team right now, the Grizzlies, they do not have very much depth. While Ja Morant is suspended, I think they have 5 players. 5 players who would play on every team. Obviously, Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr., then Marcus Smart, Steven Adams, and Luke Kennard. Those 5 guys, they're in anybody's rotation. And then you have some questions. Would Xavier Tillman? Maybe. Would Conchar? I don't know. Roddy? I don't know. Would Derrick Rose? No. We have the answer. Derrick Rose not in the rotation of teams getting DMPs. Derrick Rose averaged 5 points per game last year. Played in, 25 total games. He's older than Allen Iverson was when Allen Iverson came to the Grizzlies back in the day. The disastrous Allen Iverson era on the Grizzlies, where he played 4 road games and said, I'm good, I'm out, I'm not going to play anymore. Allen Iverson was a year younger and had come off a season where he averaged 17 points per game. Again, if you have inside knowledge that says this is a move to help out Ja Morant in the locker room and it's more of a relationship thing, okay, cool. I don't have the info. Judging it from the outside, it's, again, I'll go with eyebrow raising. Not at all what we expected. So, Derrick Rose signing, big news. The Grizzlies could still do more roster moves, but that's going to be trades now. They can still sign guys, by the way. You can carry up to like 21 guys on your roster now, including your two-way players, before opening night. But it does look like they're all done in free agency. The next moves, if any, would be of the trade variety. But that's all I got for this Friday night. Hope you have a great weekend. Have a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. And I will talk to you after then. Unless, of course, something big related to the Grizzlies happens. Anyways, hope you guys having a good one. Talk to you soon. Go Grizz.